What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Jordan Tremaine with another book review. Thank you for watching these. If you like them, do the thing, subscribe, whatever. But, even if you're just watching one, thank you for watching. About to have a good time because I'm going to go over a book that I thought was really good. I think a bunch of people should read, even though it may not seem like a book that everybody should read because it seems very industry specific. But the book is Measure What Matters by John Doerr. And I think this book is a good one. Measure What Matters is about measuring stuff, but if you only read titles, you may think this is about like getting a ruler and like measuring tape and going like, how long is this? How long is that? But it really has nothing to do with measurement tape. It has to do with this kind of business axiom, which is if it can be measured, it can be managed. I think that's kind of the heart and soul of this book. But it talks about these things called OKRs, how to use them, how to misuse them, how they're effective, and how they help you do cool stuff in real life. So, like I've said before, when I've reviewed other books that are more towards like manufacturing or business or whatever, dude, if you're in this place in your mind where you're like, oh, business books are only for business, oh, math books are only for math, storybooks are only for fun. Like, storybooks can teach you life lessons just like self-help books can. Business books can teach you good relationship practices. Self-help books can give you really fantastic ideas for stories or things that are very imaginative. Books contain information. Things that have information, while sometimes they belong in a certain genre or they're easily fed into a certain industry, they can have information that applies to all these different things and it can be super interesting. So I would encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and read books in different genres if you find the title or the synopsis interesting. Just look into it, even if it's not the type of book you normally read. And I think this book falls into that because it talks about this thing called OKRs, which is an acronym, in case you didn't know, for objectives and key results. That's two things. That's objectives, and I only have key results because I can only I don't know the sign language over here. In terms of measuring what matters, the book is talking about using this approach of objectives and key results to measure things and to figure out what matters, because those are very important. Measuring things helps you get information about it so you can figure out what to do with that information. But also when it says what matters, this tool of OKRs not only helps you measure what's happening, but it helps you kind of weed out what doesn't matter and say like, not that, not that, not that, not that. This one, I'm going to measure this one. And then you can focus on this instead of having to deal with all those other things. It helps give you a way to filter out stuff that may not be as important. So how does it do that? This technique has been used by a bunch of companies like Google and all these big tech dudes, and little tiny companies, and even people for their home life and stuff. So I think it's like worth looking into and getting some ideas from. But how does it work? So you got objectives. So you write objectives, and objectives, they're kind of like SMART goals, which I totally forgot what that acronym is, but they're like definite goals. It's not like get better at math. That's not a goal, because how do you know when you've achieved it? Or get faster. Like if you're a runner and your goal is to get faster, like what does that mean? If right now I can run a mile in 6 minutes and my goal is I want to run a mile in 5 minutes, that's a goal because I can measure it and I can say, okay, I've reached the goal. If I say I want to read more, it's like, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? But if on average I read 1 book a month and I want to say, hey, I want to read 2 books a month, then that's a goal. I can measure that. I can see if it happened or if it didn't happen. And in this way, the OKR strategy is trying to help people get goals that have a way to check it off and say, hey, I've done it. And those are called objectives. So I want to be able to run a mile in under 5 minutes. I want to be able to run a marathon. I want to get a college degree. Those are all objectives because there's a point where you can say, hi, I'm done. But if you want to say something like, I want to get smarter or I want to run faster, there's kind of like no way to really tell if you've achieved the goal. So it helps a lot with kind of framing what even an objective is and how to write objectives. And then there's these things called key results, where okay, I have this objective, and sometimes the objective is very straightforward, like I want to run a mile under 5 minutes. But sometimes the objective is not as straightforward, like I want to graduate and get a college degree, where there may be like there a bunch of things come together in order to create that goal or that objective, which is the college degree. And it could be like get admitted to college, I don't know, get $50,000 worth of scholarships, and I don't know, buy a car. Maybe you need a car to get to school. And so maybe if you do these three things, the likelihood of you getting that degree are very high. So you're going to say like, okay, I want to get a degree. If I do these three things, I'll basically have this degree. So the key results are kind of like these markers to say like, okay, in order to achieve your objective, what are things that you need to do? And if you do these things, it will lead you to that. So like for running a mile in under 5 minutes. If right now I can run a mile in 6 minutes, maybe I write a goal that says decrease or like get faster by 2 seconds every week, and then run 1 mile every day. So maybe those are two objectives. So I have to run a mile every day, and my time for a mile has to get faster by 2 seconds every week. Then I'm actually like, if I can do those two things for long enough, or let's see, for 30 weeks, then I will run a 5-minute mile. So you set up these key results that are kind of like milestones to help you achieve it, and that helps you like keep you on track. Lots of times these are bound by dates, they're bound by budgets, and they have different constraints and stuff to help you like not fall off the tracks. And the idea is you don't have a lot of them. You have maybe like 3 objectives at once, and each one of those objectives has like 3 to 5 key results. So this doesn't like balloon out and turn into this whole big thing. But it helps you say, okay, this is my objective. These are my 3 key results that I'm trying to accomplish. Oh, what about this 4th thing? No, it's not one of my key results, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm worried about these 3 things. And it helps you like block stuff out that may be helpful or that somebody's trying to sell you in order to help you with your goal, but you already decided what you're focusing on, so you're focusing on that. And this works out really well in groups, because a lot of times you have like a team leader or a boss or something like that who has their goals, and like if you have like managers and like people like different levels like at your job and stuff, this gets really helpful if it's done in a certain way, where like if the president of the company makes his objectives and his key results, then that helps the people below him saying like, okay, this is what the company's doing. This is, okay, we want to, let's say we're a car manufacturer. Okay, we want to sell double the amount of cars we did last year, and we want to have a 90% customer satisfaction rating. And those are our 2 main objectives. And okay, now we have those 2 main objectives, and then the next level down, they might create their objectives based on those objectives, and then it goes all the way down. Where a lot of times the higher level has an objective with some key results, and then this key result becomes the objective for the next level, and then they make key results, and then their key results become the objective for the next level. But that way, everybody's kind of working together. And if you ask somebody, hey, why are you working on that? They should be like, I'm working on this because it works to accomplish this objective, which helps with that, which helps with the goal. And it helps people like talk things out and say like, really, that doesn't help. Or like, oh, now that you've said that, that does help a lot. You're going to need more resources. Or you're going to need to work with that department. But that department, their objectives, they have full capacity because they already said what their objectives are. So maybe we need to talk. So maybe this isn't, and it helps with communication and transparency and all that kind of stuff. If people are willing to go through the process and put their goals on paper and share their OKRs with everybody else. And the book goes into like why that may be difficult and why you may need to do some work to help with your culture or your dynamics in order to have that happen. But whether or not this is feasible in your life or at your company or in your family or whatever, I think the idea of OKRs is very interesting, and it's helped some of the biggest companies ever, like Google, be productive and coordinate. But it does require people be willing to coordinate and be willing to share ideas and be willing to say, okay, maybe that isn't the best thing, let's do something else. To work together, compromise, talk it out, do all that kind of stuff, which can be very difficult for humans. But at least as an idea, I think it's good. I think it's worth reading, even if you're not a business dude, even if you just like are a regular dude that doesn't have a job or something like that. This is a cool way to just make goals and stuff more realistic in your personal life, because you can set OKRs in your personal life, you can set them in your relationship, you can set them in your family. You don't have to call them OKRs, but that whole model of creating a goal that you know when it's achieved, setting a date for it, and then like specifying key results or milestones and saying like, okay, I need to do these things in order to achieve this goal, and it helps keep you on track, to review them, helps other people hold you accountable. So I thought the book did a good job, of explaining OKRs. It gives you a bunch of examples, like Bono. He did like the One campaign. If you guys remember, Apple came out with all those like iPods and stuff that were like red. I think that was part of the One campaign, but a lot of people have used this. It's been highly successful. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation uses OKRs, and I'm not just trying to name drop to be like, oh, it's popular, you should use it because it's super popular. I'm saying like it's effective because large corporations funnel thousands and thousands of man hours and millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars of work through this system. So maybe it has some merit. Maybe it's worth reading one book about. But the book is Measure What Matters by John Doerr. I enjoyed it a lot. OKRs are something that I think are helpful and that people should at least know about. When you know about something, you can use it or you can not use it, but it helps you be able to choose what you want to do. If you don't have choices, you're stuck doing the default. But if you can like learn tools, then you have choices and you say, maybe this is for me or maybe it's not for me. And I would highly advocate making this one of your choices, even if you don't use it long term. But yeah, the book is a good one. This has been Jordan Tremaine Book Reviews with another one. Thanks for watching. Pew, 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 pew. We'll see you on the next one.